Hello, it's Mrs. Wackerly, and I will be reading Chapter 24 of Roland Smith's Peak. Chapter 24 is called Blink. The next morning, I was enduring another uncomfortable breakfast at a separate table from my team members when Josh and Thaddeus came into the tent. I thought they were going to make an announcement about the filming schedule or something, but instead Josh said, "We've reached a decision." He took a sheet of paper out of his pocket and slowly unfolded it. B team, led by Pa Sang, will consist of the following members. He read off the names. A team, which I'll lead, will be. Then he read off another list of names with one very important omission. My name. Before I could find my voice, the Texan spoke up, sounding almost as stunned as I felt. "Are you saying Peak isn't going to get a summit shot?" "Did you hear me read off his name?" Josh asked tersely. "No," the Texan said quietly. It's a ploy, I thought desperately. Otherwise, Josh would have told me about the decision before this brutal announcement. He was just trying to get their sympathy, trying to get them to say, "Now just hold on a minute, Josh. We didn't really mean for you to. It was brilliant. If they decided I should come, and they couldn't grouse about it later." I waited for those magic words, but they didn't come. Instead, Josh looked at me. "I'm sorry, Peak. I've been a jackass about this. They're right. This is their climb. They're paying the tab." I thought he was overplaying it and hoped he knew what he was doing. I looked at the Texan. Now was the time for him to say, "Aw, shucks, we were just having fun with you. Of course you can summit Everest with us." Instead he said, "Well, that's settled then." "Wait a second," I said. "That's not fair. I worked just as hard as anyone here to get up to Camp 4. "Let it go, Peak," Josh said quietly. "I won't let it go." I almost knocked over my chair standing up. "You don't have a choice," Josh said, raising his voice. "It's all been arranged. Zopa's packing your gear right now. You and his Sherpas are heading to Kathmandu. The truck's waiting." I stared at him in disbelief. It wasn't a ploy. He'd blinked. "I'm sorry it didn't work out," he continued. "Maybe we can try again next year. You're young. You'll get plenty of chances to get to the summit. I don't believe this." "I'll help you pack." "Forget it!" I pushed past him and ran outside. By the time I got to my tent, my gear was already in the truck and ready to go. So it was all planned. Zopa, Yogi, and Yash were sitting in the bed waiting for me. I wiped away my frozen tears. "You should have told me." Zopa shook his head. "Better to learn the way you did." "The only thing I've learned is that you and my father are liars." "We must leave," Zopa said calmly. "We have a long way to go before dark." I glared at him, expecting more, but it was clear the discussion, if you want to call it that, was over. The driver started the truck. As we pulled out of camp, Josh stepped out of the mess tent and waved at me. I returned the wave with a gesture of my own. He returned the insult by giving me his trademark grin. If Zopa hadn't grabbed my collar, I would have jumped out of the back of the truck and killed him with my bare hands. I could not believe how quickly it all came to an end. I mean, I knew I might not make it to the top of Everest, but I thought it would be due to weather, injury, or endurance, not some stupid business decision. Josh hadn't bothered to mention what I was supposed to do once I got back to Kathmandu. Wait for him, I suppose. Or maybe I was being sent down to Chiang Mai. It didn't matter. As soon as I got to wherever I was going, I would call Mom and find out if things had cooled off enough for me to go back to New York. The only thing I knew for sure was that I was not going to have anything to do with Joshua Wood ever again. We bumped along the rough road for a couple of miles until we came to a roadblock manned by Chinese soldiers. They checked our papers, then thoroughly searched the truck. This is when I realized that Sunjo wasn't with us. I was so mad when I got booted out of camp, I hadn't even thought about him. I had to wait to ask Zopa till we were back on the road. "Where's Sunjo?" "He's waiting for us up ahead," Zopa said. It looked like Sunjo wasn't getting his shot at the summit either. I guess Captain Shek had made it too risky. Shamefully, this made me feel a little better. A couple miles later, the truck slowed down. I looked over the top of the cab expecting to see Sunjo, but it was just the yak and a porter headed up to base camp. When we drew up next to them, the driver stopped. The porter was Gulu. He gave me a toothless smile, then he and Zopa talked for a while, but I couldn't understand what they were saying. When they finished, Gulu waved, then continued toward base camp. We drove down the road another mile or so, then came to another stop. At this rate, it would take us a year to get to Kathmandu. Yogi and Yash hopped out of the truck and started unloading gear. "What's going on?" "Team C," Zopa answered. "What are you talking about?" Instead of answering, Zopa pulled a crumpled piece of paper out of his pocket and handed it to me. Sorry about the dramatics, but we had to make it look good so Captain Shek would think you and Sunjo were gone and stop looking for him. I also had to appease my bonehead clients. It was the only way I could get you to the summit before your birthday. Zopa's idea. I told you he was cagey. He'll take you up to ABC along a different route. He's under strict orders to keep you alive. If he doesn't, your mom will kill me. I hope you make it to the top, but if you don't, no worries. Josh. I read the note over twice, then looked up at Zopa. He was smiling. We will take a shortcut to ABC, he said, but we will have to move quickly before Captain Shek discovers our deceit. I wasn't sure if I was angry or happy with him and Josh. It had been a cruel trick. I understood why they had done it, but they should have trusted me to play a role. I could have pulled it off, and I was about to tell Zopa this when Sunjo came over the top of a small hill and waved. Aside from the rumpled porter clothes and the grass in his hair from Gulu's yak, he looked ready to climb.